there. Um, Number four, I had the mental and physical wellness. And number five, I actually had economics. Ethics has to be up in that list. Um, and I agree with you, Jalen. Honestly, one there's two things I really, really do not like is a thief and a person that's not honest. You know, I like to be able to feel that I can trust the person. You know, if I can't trust you, I'd be around. You know, everybody pretty much in my life that's close to me. You know, which is a lot of people. I trust very well. Uh, I'm an introvert, so I don't really need a whole lot of people that I'm around or anything like that. But honesty is like one really, really good thing. Okay, now we are asked, and I'll go ahead and start with you again, Jalen. How would your life look if you didn't have your first priorities? If you didn't have your family, how would your life look
Uh, that's interesting. I guess if I didn't have my family, and still had all the rest of my values, I guess I would just be a whole lot more. I guess I would just be a workaholic. I guess I'd probably just work to where I can save up enough money to then just go travel as much as I want to, I guess. I definitely wouldn't have as much, like, fun is not the right word because, it's different with your family. Like, I want my family to be there, to travel with me and share those experiences with me. So I guess if I was to just do it alone, don't get me wrong, I guess I would enjoy it, but I wouldn't enjoy it as much and be able to share, you know, that intimacy in my whole life without the family there. So it'd definitely be a little bit more gray, like I would say, and not so much something to look forward to. Because I love coming home or, going to family events on weekends, and just being able to spend time with family and just, relax and be myself and, know I'm surrounded by those who love me.
Any questions for Jalen?
No, I too can relate. Sorry, I too can relate to Jalen as far as the family part. It's definitely an enjoyable. It's a different kind of enjoyment. You not to say that you can't enjoy life without a family. You can, like without your own created family. We have our extended family, like our siblings, in which we came from, but then we have a family in which we create. So it's a different kind of enjoyment.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, Jane, if you had to live your life and didn't have the quality of health that you wish for, How would your life be then?
Uh, Health wasn't on my list. My number one was honesty.
Oh, why do I have you down twice?
Oh, all right. I think
Okay.
Carolina's
Hey,
was health. Her first one was health.
okay. Since you're talking right now, Jane, yeah, honesty.
I mean,
Um, that was number 2 on my list.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like a world without honesty would just kind of be just criminal world, I guess. Except just more literal. Like it's already criminal world, but like there's no what did I put down? There's no trust. There's no accountability. It's just kind of that'd be so stressful actually, because you'd be like, hey, you got it, and they're like, yeah. And you're like, so you don't? Are you lying? I don't know how to do this, and good communication is like super important. So like just living in a state of not fully understanding what anybody means would that'd be horrible.
So would you say, Jane, that without honesty, then you can't have trust, you can't have integrity? Was that one of them?
I didn't have integrity on my list. I think that was Anne. But
Okay.
it's almost like, well, that's interesting because I feel like, there would still be people in the world that you could trust, but you wouldn't have that, the baseline of, that honesty is even a virtue,
Mm-hmm.
So even if, you chose to be like, well, I mean what I say, you couldn't expect that from anyone else. And, you'd almost feel like out of the loop because you'd be like, well, I'm just putting myself out there, making myself vulnerable, while everyone else is literally putting up these walls and just not meaning what they say. And I don't know, that'd be just, But no, I like that. I like that comment, that question. When you think about it, because yeah, I would still want to have that value, even if I didn't know what that value was. If it wasn't something that was explicitly known.
Jane, I think you hit on the head when you mentioned accountability. I think, without honesty, there wouldn't, it'd be hard to have accountability. And like you said, the world would just run wild, even more so. And it'd just be so difficult to live in.
Thanks for sharing that. Some of our value systems, I mean, it's just, it's just almost unimaginable. With there being so much dishonesty now anyway, I mean, if people didn't have the accountability like Jalen was saying, and they don't have to be honest about things, it's like, I would still want to just stay to myself or be on the island by myself. Not to be able to trust anybody Okay, so then, Caroline, I'll ask you.
Yeah.
As far as your number one was health, correct?
Yes.
Yes. How do you think your world would be if you didn't have your health, or you weren't healthy, or?
Yeah. So I've kind of experienced this before. I suffer from some autoimmune disorder, so there was a point in time where I was not on my appropriate medication, in which I try to work, I try to do my education, I try to be with my family without this kind of medication and proper medical support, that it was very difficult. It was very difficult to do every day-to-day tasks, just to even just get up from the bed was very difficult. So I felt like I missed out in a lot of opportunities within that moment. And it was just, it didn't feel fun to live. Right? So, I don't think I would be able to enjoy everything else if I don't have my health.
That definitely gives a new factor to the perspective of why you find health so important. That makes sense. To be able to connect with your family. Yeah, that's a lot. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You know, sometimes true health is something that we take for granted. You know,
Absolutely. Once upon a time, I was 17, healthy, no diagnosis of anything, and then my life turned around, went upside down the next year. So it definitely hits you with a lot of different things of how health is taken for granted. Absolutely.
okay. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing that. Next, and respect.
Yep. I think that if there was less respect, I would probably be staying at home more. Like I would end up turning into an introvert just because I couldn't deal with, people anymore, especially if they have so much disrespect. And unfortunately, there's a lot out there currently. But I try to stay away from that. Try to stay away from those people. Try to stay away from like the media and stuff like that. So, yeah, I feel like it would just be sad, and you probably wouldn't believe a lot of people. Also, like you might lose the trust, and you might lose a whole lot of other values with it.
And
Yeah, one thing about it.
Sorry, I just have a clarifying question for Anne in regards to your respect. Is there a type of hierarchy?
I don't think so. I mean, anyone can be respectful. Like, a bum on the street just saying, please and thank you is respectful, whereas, a CEO just also saying please and thank you to you is just as respectful. It really doesn't matter what your status is. Anyone can be respectful.
Okay. Anyone has any other questions or share anything on that segment? Okay. I don't know if we want to go to this so quick. Because actually, the former question was your first two values, but I think it's important to to know about our first value. Uh, Mine's, I put it as spirituality. Um, and I probably shouldn't even say anything because I really don't even want to imagine my life without that. All the other mentioned values, you know, they pretty much some of them can be connected, you know, to each other. Like, you know, I've gone through some difficulties in my life, and even then, I've always kept my spirituality. But I mean, to me, without spirituality, you know, between the honesty and the accountability, those things would not be involved. My conscience is very strong, very much on me, and yeah, I try to be respectful, fair, and kind to everyone, and particularly caring, and you know, loving as best possible. And to me, all those are I really wouldn't want to be without that. And it would be very, very difficult for me to live if I didn't have that. Okay, so anybody else have anything to add to that area, or any questions, responses? Okay. You will see clients whose experience situations are different from what you encounter in your own life. You may disagree with the very value and ideas of clients. Oh dear. Which of the 5 values from your list could assist you or hinder you from being empathetic? Okay. Being a good counselor, or being empathetic to your client's needs. Are there any values that would be helpful that you could see, that you could speak up, or values that would hinder you being able to respond in an ethical way to your other members, like if you're part of a counseling group?
Give me 1 second. The dog is going crazy. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, anybody want to start off with that?
I'm like, oh, no, go ahead.
Sorry, it's okay. You can go ahead. I'll put my hand down.
Oh, no, it's okay. You put a little hand up.
So I do think that one of my values, like self-care, I think that one would be one of my ones that may not correlate to other people, because self-care varies between persons. When I used to work as a addictions counselor, a lot of the individuals who I spoke with, their self-care was drugs. Okay? where I wouldn't agree with that, but of course I need to be ethical and still be compassionate and empathetic to the case. So I definitely foresee that self-care, since it's so broad, because there's different variations, it could create some discrepancies in my my transference and whatnot. Sorry, yeah, you can go ahead, Jane.
I was like caught between two because I was like, would loyalty get in the way? Because I feel like, especially if a client revealed that they would harm another person or be harmful, then that would break their confidentiality. And then like I wouldn't have like loyalty to them specifically as much as, but like in a way that's still like caring about their safety overall, you know? But I feel like they wouldn't view that as an act of loyalty. Also versus my fifth one, which was acceptance. I think I might like struggle with not having bias if they had values that were outside of multicultural competency. Like that would, like I felt like that would like irritate me. Like for example, like if they were like sexist and they're like, these are my values and like this is how like my culture views it, I'd be like, I don't know. Like I need to like help you self-actualize without me like being overbearing and being like, this is what you need to change about yourself, you know? To learn to be more accepting. Like I can't force my values onto the client.
Right. Okay, which one of your values then do you think that would be an advantage to you having a situation like that?
Definitely kindness, because it's difficult to like in being in a situation where you have a client that is very like unaccepting, you accepting not their behavior but just them like as a human person in front of you would help connect and like bridge the gap between them, like not understanding like it's okay that we don't agree or have the same values, but like in the position of a counselor, even as a person, like you want to help people, you want to be able to connect with them in a way that they can accept and understand. And I feel like that's more important than them ever like agreeing with you or having your same values.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Any other questions for her? Okay, who would like to go next?
I could go next.
Okay.
As for the 5 values I listed, family, responsibility, respect, kindness, and adventure, one that would hinder, I guess could be adventure. Some people aren't comfortable, you know, going outside of their comfort zone. So I wouldn't want to like push that on anyone. But you know, maybe we just don't connect on that value, which is perfectly fine. All the other ones I don't really see as hindrance. Maybe responsibility for those the clients who lack responsibility. Just not connecting there as well. But I feel like most of them would be maybe more assistance, as in like respect and kindness. I feel like would assist me a lot as a counselor. You know, as Jane previously mentioned, you know, our values may not be the same, which is perfectly fine. You know, none of our 5, you know, in this group were exactly the same. But having that respect and kindness to accept of their values, I think is important and could definitely benefit me and assist me a lot as a counselor.
Okay. Any questions for Jalen? Okay. Anybody else want to respond? What about this question? What are 3 ways that your values could impact ethical judgment?
I feel like oh, no, go ahead.
I don't know what 3 ways could impact it, but I mean, like, the ethical judgment would probably be based on somebody's, you know, own personal beliefs and values, such as, you know, different types of religion or different types of background, like, being raised. So I think some of those might be a struggle. But yeah, I can't think of 3 ways. I don't know.
Yeah, I only had 2. I couldn't figure out like a third one. But it's literally just you would hold bias against someone for whatever reason as a counselor, and then you would then assume that imposing your values on them instead of helping them self-actualize would fix their problem. But I don't know a third one. If anyone else has something to add.
No, those are good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else to add to that.
Okay, one thing we are admonished to do, though, is we want to make sure that we don't put our personal ethical beliefs onto our clients or to other members. We want to be respectful of their viewpoints and their value systems and everything, but not to if we feel one way about religion per se, we don't want to. We're trying to push our beliefs upon our clients, even though we might think that, well, you know, if you thought you felt it, you believe this way, you know, then, you know, you may not have a problem with this, and this may help solve your problem, but we don't want to put our personal beliefs on there. Who else would like to share with that? Nobody? Okay. Jalen, I hate to kind of keep going back to you in a way, but the next question that they have, you already kind of answered that, and I'll go ahead and read that. It says, what is important to understand about your client's values?
Yeah, so I think as mentioned, everyone's values is different. Being able to be open, keep an open mind, be respectful, and be kind of everyone's, own personal values, I think is important, as it will allow you as a counselor to help build a rapport and that connection, with the client. If the counselor comes off as, someone who isn't accepting of me or of my values, regardless of what they are, I'm definitely not going to want to open up to them and, tell them, what I'm dealing with. I'm definitely going to be a little more reserved or even possibly, ask for a different counselor. So I think it's important, for us to stay open, not be judgmental or biased, and kind of just treat everyone equally, and, be respectful. I think that's most important.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think if we start making our clients feel uncomfortable with, their own personal values, they would, most likely try and find someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I agree that we would have to, try to have our clients feel more as comfortable as possible, but also it's kind of still being mindful that you are a person as well, and not one size fits all. So like being transparent, at first, like, hey, this is kind of what's expected, and consistent. Now, if the client does not want that, is just not what they're looking for, then that is okay. I don't think that is our fault. And I don't think anybody should hold themselves to that if we have been transparent and consistent and it was just not a good match.
I agree with that. Definitely, if they need a referral, it's better than just spending the time like arguing over values. Like, we'll just make sure that you get a counselor that fits what you need, so that you can get help as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that also.
I have a question here, members. I can't stay too long. Are we
Okay.
ending? I don't know how much time. Do like another 5 minutes, but
No, I agree. I have work at 11.
Okay. Okay. Again, I'll throw that apology out there for starting late again. So yeah, we'll try to conclude that. Conclude the session. So let's kind of end with, if we had to at this point in time draw another a picture of, compare that to what we do at first, a picture with the end of this session, would it be the same or would there be changes?
I think it would be the same. I mean, we all kind of agreed with everybody's choices and opinions. So,
that we're all in a either star shape or circle shape manner. That's all around. No matter what way you turn it,
Yeah.
There's no greater value, greater or less than.
Okay. And then another thing also is, as we spoke on, as each person shared their values, at least say that should have either been in my top 5 or, acknowledge the fact that, well, you almost wish that they had 6 or 7 as opposed to 5 that you could, put ahead and listed. So unfortunately, let me ask, how does each one feel about it? And everybody can just kind of, if you want to just give a quick, just a couple of words. This one was kind of, as far as I'm concerned, a little bit more difficult than the wrestling movement, but your opinions?
I think that it definitely gave insight into the different definitions of what value is, and that none of them are wrong. So, everyone has just that different viewpoint.
I like that we could all draw pictures today.
Be they circle or sticks, huh? Okay. Anybody else?
I agree with Ann as far as that they are interchangeable across individuals. So just respecting across, using respect, and really those like hard values as a counselor, those generic values of being empathetic, being compassionate, utilizing those throughout our individual values.
Because just our personal values are going to be different from our professional values anyway.
Yeah.
So personal values with dealing with clients, we have to put those aside. It may be compatible with the client and maybe not. So. Anybody else?
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, since we got a rough start, and since my member they need to take care of or do, we can conclude for today. I appreciate, again, everybody's patience, everybody's help. I wish everybody to have a good week, a productive week. And we'll see what's happening next week.
Sounds good. We got 2 more.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.